to try and keep it nice and compact to 40 minutes, but I tend to go a little bit longer. And we do this every day to practice consistency, because consistency is the most important way to actually make steady progress towards your goals. Hopefully, with that steady progress, with that consistency, and I show up at 9 p.m. every single day Eastern, by the way, we can keep coming back to the same thing at the same time, make a bunch of progress together, share some good vibes, and make a bunch of progress towards our assessment goals, feel good about each other, support each other, feel good about our goals, all those good vibes. That's all I care about, and I hope that you enjoy it. All right? It's Sunday night. Let's take this nice and chill. We're just trying to move our bodies, and let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is going to be a little bit different today due to the requests of a couple people in the chat on TikTok yesterday. Let's do a little bit of back mobility. And the first one that I want to start with is cat-cow. If you do a little bit of Pilates, if you do a little bit of yoga, you're going to know this. It's basically like this. We're trying to keep our shoulders right above our wrists. You might want a little bit of knee padding if your knees are sore already. But if your knees are not hurting, then this is a perfectly good place. You're not putting that much weight onto your knees because you're also putting it into your hands. And I want you to try your best to round out this C curve right here. I want you to look up, open your chest up into the sky. Oh, feel that tension in the neck. It shouldn't be crazy, but there should be a little bit. You want to work on that back like so. And let's reverse it. Really go out of your way to round your back. It's not quite the same as slouching, but imagine you've got the worst slouch ever. I get crazy muscles that get stretched out right here. And it's because I guess everybody's got their own form of posture, right? But I flex the muscles right here in the mid back real hard to look up straight. And I think, my muscles over here work really hard to do that. So when I get into this really, really deep position, it's like a huge stretch to relax the muscles here, sort of in the mid back. It's a couple inches under the shoulder blades. And, all right, that was just one. You can keep on going nice and slow, really try to feel the movement. This isn't really about getting 100 reps done. It is about controlling and getting to that end range of motion, making your back move a little bit most of the time, especially if you're driving the car. You got like those rounded seats where your shoulders don't lie flat, they kind of bunch together. You're probably sitting on some form of public transit where you're just bunching shoulders with the people, so you're like this half an hour every single day, shrugging your shoulders together. And then you're sitting in your chair. I hope at least your chair is comfortable. But if you're working from cafes, if you're doing things a little bit more casually, maybe you're sitting in crappy chairs too. And it's just a lot of discomfort for your back. So let's take a couple of seconds more to do a couple of these. I like to start slow so you get to feel the bits and pieces in your back, especially if you want to discover what's a little bit uncomfortable. And then let's pick up the pace a little and do a bit more. All right. Whew. If your back is feeling a little bit better, know that it just takes a minute of that stuff to make your back feel a little bit better. And that is a secret weapon you can take for the rest of your life. There's so many little tiny movements, some of which we do, I think, that make me feel much more functional and comfortable as a human being. And cat-cow is one of them that I always feel ridiculous getting into position, feel ridiculous doing it. But then I go, man, that was so worth it pretty much every single time. All right. That is just a tiny little bit of Back mobility. Let's see. I'm scrolling through the chat real quick. I got a compliment that I'm adorable. I love it. Okay, I take it. I'll take it. And lots of people are loving the chat or loving the live. I love that. All right, let's continue. That was just a little bit of front and back. I have not really thought about other back stuff, so this is a little bit spontaneous. So let's get into our regular stuff. Let's get into the hip mobility and let's do the hip cars. We're going to focus on bringing our legs through that full range of motion using just our muscle power. And it starts like this. Focus on bringing that knee as high as possible right in front of you. Right? I'm going to spin around the other side so you can see different angles. Open up that hip as wide as possible. Rotate the leg so that the ankle is as high as possible. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. Try to contract your obliques to stand up a little bit straighter. These hip muscles here are working overtime trying to keep this leg up. If you want to experiment, you can extend that leg out all the way and see if those muscles are working even harder because you got worse leverage. All right, bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, pull that leg back. Feel the stretch in the hip flexor. Try to keep your chest relatively straight up and down. And that is one rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. And I'm going to do the whole thing with you so you can follow along. All right, let's go. High knee, open, ankle, down and back. And it goes right back into high knee, open, ankle, down and back. That's 2, 3, 4. If you're off balance, I recommend you get close to a wall. I'm gonna use the wall right next to me to do these so you can focus on contracting the muscles, on working that range of motion, and not on balancing. Cool. All right. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. That is one hip. We're gonna do it again. Other side. Let's go. High knee. Open up directly to the left or right. Rotate that leg so the ankle is up as high as possible. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the glutes, flex the hamstring. Really pull that bent knee behind the standing leg. And let's do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3. Remember to breathe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't tell if that was 10 or if this is 10. 10. Oh, okay. Hip cars going forward. Done. Let's do hip cars going back. All the positions are the same. You just go in reverse order. So if you're just joining in, it's going to be really confusing to figure out the pattern again. So I'll do it with you. Let's do back first. Lift directly up to the side. They're going to kick somebody. Rotate that leg so the knee is up, ankle is down, and then bring the knee forward. Let's go. Back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Whew. All right, we're almost done. Last one. Final leg, back, side, ankle, knee. Ooh, my hip popped. That is the area where my hip always pops. And it didn't hurt as bad today. Usually that first one is quite uncomfortable. But after that, it feels much better. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Okay, hip curls are done. I don't know what's going on. My legs are super tired today. Was not expecting to be this tired and this out of breath after the first round of hip curls. Maybe I've done them a little bit faster than usual, but if you need to take a small break, if you need to grab a sip of water, go ahead and do that, because I am going to have some coffee. And I'm going to check the chat. But we are going into elephant walks, and we're going to work on some hamstrings. So that is coming up real soon. Oof, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite there yet on my left side with the piriformis issue. That's okay. That's okay. Take it nice and slow. Do what you can and give your body time. All right, let's get into the elephant walks. They look a little bit like this. Remember, this is the warm-up. You don't have to do anything explosively. We're taking it real chill. I like to start the reps nice and slow and slowly build up as you get more used to the position. So come on down, fold forward, focus on your belly button, pull it down towards the ground, and just relax here for a second. Now bend the knees slightly and just kind of roll with it. Get that little bit of hamstring stretch as you move around from side to side. You might feel like something, your muscles kind of shifting in place if they are tight, and that is a good sign. You're just trying to get them to move around, to relax, warm up. Oh. All right, let's refocus our attention on that belly button. Really try to bring it down to the ground now and keep going. Bend those knees. You should really start feeling a whole bunch of stuff shifting and moving around in your hamstrings. It's not pain, it's not discomfort, but there's like something going on in there. And that is normal, especially if you have really tight hamstrings. There's a lot of tissues in there, even your hamstrings. There's like 4 thick ropes of muscle that are moving together, but not necessarily perfectly in one cohesive unit. It's still 4 things. 2 of them tie into just below your knee, 2 of them don't. So it's normal for them to shift around in your leg as you move, rub against each other. And now that you know a lot more about hamstrings, let's add a little bit of something else. Let's add some twisty stuff in. Back to that back mobility that we started with. Whew. All right, let's bend that left knee, straighten out that right leg, take the left hand, grab the right leg, so across the body, and rotate the chest to the right. Extend the right arm up into the sky. Look at that right hand. So now our thoracic spine, our upper third of the spine, is rotating. Our shoulders and our hands are reaching behind us. Our neck is rotating to look at the fingers and come back down. Try your best to reach further than the previous rep every time you get into it. And switch to the other side. Left leg is straight, right arm is grabbing left leg, chest is rotating to left, fingers are, or your left hand is going up into the sky, your eyes are twisting to the left to look at those fingers, and come on down. Whew. All right, that's 1 rep. From now on, I want you to focus on getting to that position, and then bringing the belly button down to really feel the hamstrings, maybe also feel the oblique. Let's do 5 reps of these, and we are ready to move on. Open, belly button, down, open, belly button, down. That's 1, 2, 3. I think this is 4. I might have counted a tiny bit fast, but this is definitely 5. All right. Whew. I hope you're starting to sweat a little bit. I hope that extra rotation in the spine is helping you feel a little bit looser. And I hope your shoulder blades, your shoulders are not super tired yet. because it is really hard to reach up behind you. Okay, that is our second warm-up exercise. I'm gonna come back over the chat, look at it real quick. Lulu, welcome back. It's good to see you. Sheena, you as well. And I'm scrolling to see if there's any other chat I need to respond. All right, lovely. We are going right on ahead into the Cossack switch. I'm undoing a button because I'm sweating so hard. I don't know why I chose to wear a collar shirt today. Okay, Cossack switches. We're opening up our legs, probably 3 times hips width. So this is 1 hips width right here. There's about 2. There's about 3, more or less. It's not that important exactly how wide they are, just that it's a good starting point. Cool. Point your toes out about 30%, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and try your best to come on down to one side, like so. I'm gonna angle out extremely far to the right so you can see the ankle a little bit better, but you don't have to have it out quite this far. I want you to feel the pressure in the front of your ankle from this bone going forward. I want you to feel the Achilles tendon and the calf getting stretched a little bit, and I want you to feel that pressure in the hip. You don't have to do anything explosive. We're just hanging out here for a little bit, let everybody get used to this position a little bit. On this side, I want you to really focus on keeping your heel down, your toes up, and your knees up. This position is called external leg rotation because the leg is rotating towards the outside direction of your body. And we're going to use it for side splits. It's really important for side splits. So, extra emphasis on it now. All right, we've hung out here for a couple of seconds. Let's shift our weight to the other side. You can put your hands down to help get yourself over. But if you want to do a full reset, go ahead and do that. Again, I'm going to rotate my leg extra out so that you can see what's going on here. I want your knees to be traveling the same line as your toes, all right? So if I were to spin over this way, my knees and my toes are right over each other. I don't want this or that to happen because that puts a lot of pressure on the ligaments on the outside of your knee. Kind of uncomfortable. It makes it much harder to move around, plus much higher risk of injury. All right, so once you are here, again, front of the ankle, Achilles tendon, calves, and that hip, put a little bit of pressure into it. Once you get comfortable-ish in that position, I want you to do the same on this side. External leg rotation, where your heel is down, your toes are up, and your knees are up. You might need to stick your arms out to counterbalance, and that is totally okay. All right. Once we have hung out here for a couple of seconds, I want you to get ready to switch from side to side. These are called Cossack switches. So switching from side to side basically looks like this. We're going left, we're going right, we're trying to keep our butts low to the ground. You can put your hands down to help make it a little bit easier to balance, requires less strength, and these are perfectly good. As long as you're hanging out in this stretched out position at the bottom for a second in between each of the reps, it's great. If these are a little too hard for you, you can put your hands down. You can come up to like a half squat, come over, and come down, depending on what is difficult for you. If you're just not strong enough, put your hands down. If your knees are uncomfortable, you can try to come up a little bit and then drop down. Cool? You can do the same thing if somehow you have really strong quads and you want to do a squat instead of just sliding your butt from side to side. This is the perfect place to do some squats as well. I want you to keep trying to get better at going from side to side and make that really smooth. But if it's hurting your knees, there are other variations. Cool? All right, let's do it. We're going from side to side. Let's do it about 5 times. 1. And I said, let's try to pause at the bottom in between the reps, just to give you a little bit of a stretch and work on that end position, the flexibility, mobility in that end position. But the first rep I demonstrated, I obviously did not do that. So working really hard to try to pull that off right now. I know it's tough, it's challenging. We got this. Again, you can always put your hands down to give yourself a little bit more support. And you should definitely do that if you need it. All right, I have totally lost count of how many of these we have done. But I imagine everybody's doing them at a slightly different pace. And there's also slightly different instructions than I've given in the past. So we'll just do 10 more seconds. And I think we're done. Come on up. Oh, relax. Kick your legs out a little bit. Wiggle, shake. Your hips right here are probably really feeling it. And that is good reason to wiggle those hips. You can call them hip circles, you can call them hula hoops. As long as you do something to relax these, you should feel quite a bit better. All right, that is all of our warm-up, and we are almost ready to get into our stretches. Romero asks, does the knees have to be forward? The knees do not have to be forward. That is a slightly more difficult variation of the exercise, but if you open them up, if you open up the hips and you point your knees out to the sides, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, it's perfectly good as well. It really depends on what positions your hips and knees can get into together, right? One part is the hip opening up, one part is like the ankle mobility and the knee pointing in the same direction. If you can get into a situation where your knees are pointing directly forward and you're here and you can stay balanced, which a lot of people can't because they have different length bones, so that balance is really hard to figure out, then great, that's awesome. This is like a squat with one leg out in front of you, and this is a slightly weirder squat with one leg out to the side. You should experiment and try everything because it's good for strengthening your hips. Here is different from here, is different from there, right? Okay, whew. My right side goes lower than the left. That is incredibly normal. Just like we have a stronger leg that we jump off of, just like we have more agile fingers with the hand that you're better at using, the hand that you learn to write with, or the hand you eat with. It's totally normal for your hips to be a little bit different. Your legs are different, right? Like, I don't know if it's super visible. Oh, maybe I've lost some muscle. My right quad is usually a lot bigger than my left quad, but right now I'm flexing really hard and it looks pretty much the same, so I got nothing about that. Never mind. Okay. Let's see. I got some more comments to reply to. I'll be right back. My ankles look like they land inward when I run. Is that over or under pronation? They look like this when you run, where the arch collapses. Honestly, I can't remember which term means what, but if you search for the right words for the different parts of the body that's collapsing and you actually search for the symptoms specifically, it will definitely show up on Google. But collapse arches is letting these muscles in the sort of midpoint of your foot that has this thing fall apart underneath you so that your knees start bowing inwards, typically is one of the symptoms. I can't remember which one is called pronation. So that's my answer. Eduardo, welcome back. Dude, I Google translated your messages yesterday, and they were so lovely. I appreciate the compliments, and I appreciate the good vibes. So, Eduardo, thank you for being part of the YouTube community. Oh, on YouTube, the question is, what is your recommended beginner exercise for hips if you can't put pressure on knees? That is a very, 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 very good question. If you can't put pressure on your knees, like this position down here, we can do a number of things. The first one that comes to mind is really slowing down and focusing on the hip cars, right? Like we treat it as a warm-up because we're very gentle with it, but you can totally ramp it up with weight, with intensity. This is just a high knee, right? But if you had a water bottle with a liter of water pushing down, that is its own workout. And it's the same with all of these movements in the hip car. If you wanted to remove the balancing aspect of it, you can do hip cars like this, and you can add a little bit of weight strap it. Like this is one of those places where ankle weights actually probably do a good job because you're very controlled and you're moving nice and slow and you're focused on control. A lot of time ankle weights sort of forcefully loosen your joints out. Maybe that's not so helpful, but when you're doing slow controlled things, those ankle weights are really nice. What else can we do if you can't put pressure on your knees? Is it not putting pressure on your knees with your knee bent? Is it not putting pressure on your knees with like your leg straight as well, like because you can't fully extend your leg? Those are slightly different, but in general, your hips are a ball and joint socket, right? So the hip bone looks like this over here, and the leg looks like this. So it can kind of do all of this. So if you break it down and you imagine what the hips can do, you can go over. You can rotate the leg, you can come back, right? There's a lot of different ways to move those hip muscles. And if you were able to do all of them with just your leg fully extended and do that, you're going to have a bunch of hip strength and hip mobility just by itself. So if you can't really do the Cossack switches and you care about hip mobility, this is a perfect place to start. Just moving through your range of motion. You don't have to do anything like this, right? What's happening here is we're in one very specific position that's very useful for the side split, and this leg is basically doing squats, right? It's like doing squats with a slightly angled hip. It requires strength here, and most of that strength is coming from the quads. So it's not the hip mobility thing necessarily, right? It's we're strengthening one leg at a time, in addition to getting a little bit of hip mobility. So if you want hip mobility, you can just focus on hip mobility. All right, super long tangent. Let's grab some cushions because we are done with the warm up, and let's get into the stretches. The first stretch is a hamstring stretch. We do it with one knee on the ground. And it looks a little bit like this. Cool? We want to keep these hips square. You might want to imagine just like pulling this leg in to your body so you can focus on the hamstring stretch. A lot of people get into this position and start trying to do like a front split and really stick this leg all the way out. I promise you, it's just making it extra difficult. We don't need to work on this back leg. We're just focusing on the hamstrings. All right, so keep it tucked in, fold forward. It'll be easier to control. It's closer to your center of gravity, and it'll be awesome. All right, so take a second, grab those cushions, grab a drink of water if you need it, and let's get into the hamstring stretch. So I want you to focus on keeping your hips and your shoulders and your head pointing directly in front. Stick that leg out in front of you. Remember, keep it tucked in. Don't extend it out all the way over there. And from here, focus on your belly button. Bring it down to the thigh. And as you're folding forward, you start to get real tight in these hamstrings. From here, I want you to take a nice big deep breath in. And as we exhale slowly, I want you to see if you can get slightly deeper into the stretch. Ready? Exhale. It's okay if your knee is slightly bent. Just focus on bringing your belly button down as much as you can. Ready? One more. Inhale. That was a terrible inhale, but that's okay. Exhale. Stretch, reach. Okay. Feel free to do a couple more of these. See if you can get more comfortable getting deep into that stretch. And if your knees are achy, you can keep the knees slightly bent. Focus on bringing the chest and the belly button down and then trying to straighten out the leg. If you don't have knee issues, you can keep that leg totally straight and just focus on folding forward. Cool? Let's go. 30 seconds. We're holding this stretch, trying to get deeper. You can do some little mini pulses if you like. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up out of that stretch. Your hamstrings are probably really feeling it. Maybe your heels are feeling it quite a little bit. Take a couple of steps real quick, shake it out, and the pain, the discomfort should go away right away. All right, let's switch to the other side. Same thing, square up those hips. Keep your shoulders and your head pointed directly in front of you. Extend that leg out, but not way out like so. Pull it back in, into that hip, and bring the belly button down to the thigh. Once you feel the hamstrings tightening up, let's take a couple of breaths in. Inhale. Slow exhale, release, try to get deeper into the stretch. One more, inhale. Exhale. And once your hamstrings are super tight, let's go ahead and start our stretch. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on up out of that stretch. We are done with the hamstring stretch. And get rid of the cushion. We don't need it anymore. We're not going to use it again. Whew. All right, I'm going to crawl over, check the chat. Give me a second. Oh, man. Oh, Car Washer says, thanks for the recommendation. Like the stream. Love it. Okay. Thank you, Eduardo. I'm not sure what you said, but it says Bon Amigo, which I assume means good friend. So that's awesome. All right. All right, that's it. The chat has nothing else. So let's get into the next stretch. The next stretch is the butterfly stretch. Usually I have been showing you a regular butterfly stretch and then give you an improved variation. Today we're going to jump right into the improved variation. I want you to get really close to a wall. And by really close, I mean my back is against the wall. My hips are against the wall. My head is now against the wall. You can do this with a bookcase, with a dresser, as long as it's durable, and as long as you can put a little bit of pressure into it without it shaking, wobbling, getting unstable, it will be good. So a door would work. A wall, better. Cool? Get your hips, your shoulder, your head to the wall. Lean back. Enjoy that nice straight posture for a second. Grab your feet, pull them all the way in, and try to bring your knees to the ground. That is the butterfly stretch. The butterfly stretch stretches this area right here in the groin. And the obvious way to visualize that happening is bring your knees to the ground, opening up as deep as you can. I want you to use these muscles in the outer thighs and your glutes to really pull your knees down into the ground. And that is because we always want you to get a little bit stronger while we go. All right? Once you are using those muscles, you're pulling your legs down. We're going to add the best part of this whole thing, which is power in your arms. When you do this, you start pushing down into your legs. The back of your head and your shoulders are going to feel a lot of pressure from the wall. Basically, the wall being there helps you push your legs down. And that is incredible because it makes it so it's way more effective and you can put a lot more power into your legs. That's it. Contract your butt, contract your outer thighs. Remember to breathe, push your legs down, and 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Get the hands off your legs first. Your legs might feel stuck. Maybe the muscles are quivering and shaking from being pushed down like this. And all you have to do is grab your knees, lift them up a little bit, flap the wings of this butterfly. Your legs will instantly start figuring out what to do as soon as you give it a little bit of movement. And you can get right up out of that butterfly, shake out the legs, and get into the next stretch. We're doing standing pancake for stretch number 3. And it looks like this. We're going to open up the legs nice and wide. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable, just wide enough. And I want you to fold your upper body forward so that you're in this position. Cool? This is the starting position of the standing pancake. From the side, it looks like you're just trying to touch your toes. You have a hamstring stretch going, but your legs are open to the side. I recommend a couple of things. If you're worried about slipping around, you can always put one foot up against the wall, so only one side is going to slide out. That can help make the thing feel a little bit more secure. And once you are folded forward, I want you to imagine the bottom of your hips, the bottom of like your butt bones. And I want you to imagine them pointing out directly behind you. And while you're folding forward, I want you to imagine them almost pointing up and behind you. That will help you focus on bring the belly button down to the ground. All right, that's it. The goal of this is to bring our chest, our head in the direction towards the middle of our legs. It's really hard to do this with just sitting down. So we use the standing pancake because gravity is pulling our entire upper body down. If you extend your arms, it'll make it feel a lot more intense. There'll be a lot more pressure from gravity pulling on your hips. So give that a try. If it's too intense, you can always remove an arm, remove both arms, put your hands down if you need to. We're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Let's get into position. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. The goal of this is to fold forward. You don't have to have the widest legs. You just need to be able to move those hips. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward. Oh. Put your hands down, pull your legs in, come back into standing. Whew. Relax a little bit. The standing pancake is really tough because it really works on 2 different muscles at the same time. When you're folding forward, the hamstrings are getting really, really stretched. And that's why we spend time doing the elephant walk in the beginning to help warm up movement. We do the hamstring stretch right before this so that when we get into the more complex, harder exercises, they are warmed up and ready and can help you get into that pancake stretch. Standing pancake, your hamstrings are crying, and that's totally normal. For the pancake, I do want you to focus on folding forward and not so much on the deepest leg position that you can get into, because the goal is to work on this forward fold. All right. When we do the actual side split stretches, you can focus on opening your legs as wide as possible. They're really closely related. They're basically like siblings in this sort of stretching world. And for the pancake, I want you to focus on folding forward. Cool? All right. 4th stretch, the figure 4. Let's get right into it. The figure 4 stretch looks a little bit like this. We're bringing the ankle across the body just above the knee. And when you do that, it looks like the number 4. The goal is to take that leg and bring your chest to it so that you feel the stretch out here in this outer hip, outer glute area. There's two main ways to do it, the pigeon stretch or the figure four stretch. I think yesterday we did the figure four, so let's do the pigeon today. Let's talk it through. When you're doing the pigeon stretch, it's a yoga position that is frequently used to relax in. We're going to make it a little bit different for our purposes. It's not really that different. It's pretty much the same, but I'm going to focus on different things. Let's get into this position where the ankle is across the body, okay? I want you to try to bring your midpoint of your chest to the midpoint of the leg bone, wherever between your knee and your ankle. If you have really long leg bones, femurs, then, try your best to hit the midpoint. From here, you might notice that this leg back here is not fully extended. You might be aware of a pigeon where you fully extend the leg back. That is totally okay. If you can't fully extend your leg back, if you can't get into this position, don't worry, because most of the stretch that you're feeling out here, you're still feeling if your leg is bent or not bent. And we care mostly about this. All right, at least for the side split, we care mostly about this. If you can slowly get into a position where it's easier for you to fully extend the leg behind you, then you'll get more of a stretch in the front of this hip as well. And that is lovely. But if you can't get there, if your knee is slightly bent, it's totally fine because we only care about that other hip. Cool? One other detail is this ankle is going to want to get into a really comfortable, easy position at all times. And that's just how life goes, right? We want to get into comfortable, easy positions whenever possible. And that is why exercising is so hard. But when you're hanging out here, your ankle is going to want to tuck in towards your groin area because it's way less intense of a stretch. And you can just chill here, probably. So I want you to be very cautious and conscious of where that ankle is. I want you to push it away, keep it far, and really work on that stretch. The leg is going to want to come in, push it away, fight it, don't let it come back, all right? If it gets really uncomfortable, obviously let it come back a little bit so you can actually stretch, but don't let it get all the way into here and then be like, oh, okay, this is a great stretch. I'm not doing anything at all. That's the pigeon. Let's get into it. I'm going to face you for a portion of it so it's easier to copy, and then I'm going to turn around and show you the sideways view so you can see the stretch happening in the hip. Cool? So once again, midpoint in the chest, midpoint in the leg, bring it down. The goal here is to feel the stretch in this outer hip area, right? You might also feel it on the inside of your hip, and those are really good things. Try to keep your hips low to the ground, and then bring your chest down. If you just bend your chest and roll your head forward and arch your back, you might be able to put your head down, and that's great. But I want you to, for the first couple of seconds, try to keep that back straight. You'll notice that if you keep the back straight, you'll feel way more pressure pulling you down. And this works with the same reason that extending your arms in the pancake helps to pull you down. Cool? That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. If you're getting too comfortable, push the ankle away. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Try to keep your shoulders level to the ground. I haven't talked about that at all. But try not to have like one shoulder be really high up and one shoulder be really low. Try to keep them the same. 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember to breathe nice and slow. Relax. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. We're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Whew. Come on out of that stretch and switch to the other side. Same thing. We'll bring that leg across our bodies, aiming for the midpoint in our chest to get to that midpoint in the leg between the knee and the ankle. And We're trying to feel the stretch here in the outer side glute. Let's go. Fold. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you straighten out your back, it'll feel way more intense. Intense leverage. 22, 21, 20, 19. Remember to breathe nice and deep. Relax. Use those skills we learned in the hamstring stretch. Apply them to this stretch. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, come on up out of that stretch. That was our last stretch. Everything that we do builds into working on that side split. So we pre-stretch all the things that are going to get really stretched in the side split so that we're maximally prepared for the movement. Oh, and that means it's time for some side splits. If you've been having fun, if you've been learning a little bit, if you've been practicing so far and you haven't yet, I hope you hit follow, hit subscribe, because we do this every single day to practice consistency both for you and for me. We do this every day because it helps to, make progress in our goals, but also it gives people a place to come back to, something to make a part of their schedule, something to build into a habit, and makes it easier for you to work on your goals, right? So if you care about hip mobility, you care about the side splits, keep on coming back. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's the same time. And we do it every day to build a little community, make it fun, create good vibes, get people chatting, people supporting each other, and hopefully that makes it a lot easier to make a lot of progress in your side split goals. Cool? That's the spiel. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe, get notified, do all those cool things, and let's move on into the side split stretches. Before we actually drop into side splits, let's talk about safety. This wall right here is your best friend. It's awesome for the butterfly stretch from earlier, and it's awesome for pushing against to help keep you safe in general. But for the side split, it's extra useful for keeping you feeling secure. All right. What that means is when you're in this deep side split position, you're like, oh man, this is painful. If you start falling forward, your hands can catch yourself more or less, and it's okay. But if you start falling backwards, it's so much scarier. And if you have a wall right behind you, you just crash into the wall. Maybe your shoulders will hit, maybe your butt will hit. And luckily, you don't have to fall that far. I think if you try your best to get close to that wall, and I recommend 8 to 12 inches, it'll be really comfortable. It'll just be like, oh, well, look at that. I can just sit back and relax and enjoy my stretching time, right? The reason why I bring this up is because a lot of stretching is about relaxation, relaxing the muscles. And when we do the side split, you'll notice, oh, these muscles are pulling so hard. And the reason why it hurts is because it's pulling so hard and keeping you from getting into that position. So when we are stretching, we want to try our best to relax. That's what the deep inhales and the slow exhales are all about. It's about relaxing into that stretch. If you're afraid of falling, if you're afraid of something happening, you getting hurt the whole time, subconsciously, there's going to be tension in your body. You're like, oh, no, I'm scared, I'm going to fall. That tension doesn't help you to relax at all. It's the opposite of what we want. So safety is really important, both because I don't want you to get injured, but also because if you feel like you're going to get injured, your muscles will never relax. They'll be in a state of, I'm ready to fight, right? And that's not helpful for anybody. So get comfortable, get safe. That might also mean, you want to bring the cushion back. Maybe you want to have something you can fall on if you are falling. Maybe that cushion is back there, so if you plant your butt down, I'm not doing it right now, but if you did fall, you have a little bit more protection. And if that helps you feel safer, if that helps you feel better about the split, then do it. It's great. I ain't judging. Nobody else is going to see it. Do whatever it takes to help you feel safe. Cool? All right. Once we've covered that, and I guess we have, let's open up our legs nice and wide. Fold Actually, up until the point where it gets a little bit uncomfortable in the hips. All right. And I want you to fold forward. And it's going to look just like how we set up for the standing pancake. But here, I want you to make sure that you can do almost like a little push-up. And the reason why we want to do that is because we want to shift some of the weight into our arms, so it's not just in our legs. And that allows us to externally rotate the legs. We talked about this in the warm-up, but I can't imagine all of you were here for that. So external rotation looks like this. We're rotating the legs so that the heel is down, the toes are up, and the knee is pointing up on both sides. Heels are down, toes are up, and knees are pointing up. This rotates the leg so that some of the nubby parts of your thigh bone does not smash into your pelvis, into your hip bone, and lets you get deeper into the stretch. Cool? Once you are here, you might notice your legs are going out a little bit further, and that is great. I want you to walk your hands as far back towards your hips as possible. We put the weight over there. Now we're bringing the weight back right above the legs, helping us get into a deeper stretch. And wow, when it gets really intense, you're like kind of struggling, I want you to try a little tiny bit of a wiggle from side to side to see if you can break that last little bit of friction. I know this is intense. That's also why I'm talking so fast all of a sudden, because it's so intense. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Try your best to calm down and relax. Breathe nice and deep. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost done, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward, walk your hands forward, crawl out of the side split position, pull your legs in, and relax. Man, that was intense. Okay, that was round 1. We did all that. We made our legs really tense. And now we're going to get back into standing and try to undo that tension as much as possible. We're trying to reset the body for the next round. For the side split, instead of doing just 1 round of 30 seconds, we're doing 3 rounds of 30 seconds. And in between each of these rounds, because it's so intense, because there's so much weight going into your legs, we want to relax as much as possible. So I call this the wiggle, the noodle dance, the shake, the flop. It's got lots of names. All I want you to do is relax the muscles by shaking, by flopping, by wiggling, by noodling around. The ankle will look the most obviously loose. It'll flop around all over the place. If you shake out the leg from side to side, if you wiggle front and back like this, your muscles will loosen up. And part of the reason why we know this works is because if all your muscles were really contracted, you would look like a ticking clock thing, right? But our legs aren't doing that. Our legs are flopping around, they're loose, and we're forcing that to happen by shaking it out. Oh, right. Once your legs are starting to feel more or less normal again, let's do some quick checks to check our joints to make sure nothing got weird while we were in that really intense position down in the side split. We're starting with the hip circles. And you don't have to do very many. If something is uncomfortable, spend extra time. But if it's not uncomfortable, you can just do a couple and move on. Next up, we're going to do some mini squats. So I just want you to put a little pressure into your knees, a little pressure into your ankles. Come up onto your toes if you can, just a little bit, nice and gentle, to make sure all of the joints and the muscles working together are doing good. Once you've done that, take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Relax, calm down, and grab a sip of water. Because we're going to get right into round 2 right after this. 5 sets of bringing it around town. Love it. Okay. Bliss Gen X says, this is great. Lovely. I love that you love it. Tiff reposted. Thank you, Tiff. Whole bunch of people are following. Lovely, lovely. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific to practice consistency, to help you make progress, to help me make progress, and hopefully build a nice, fun community of people who are all trying to get better in their side splits, their hip mobility, and make cool vibes, good energy, make it easier to do these hard things like suffering on the floor back there. So if that sounds interesting to you, that's what we do. I hope you join in. Hope you hit follow, hit subscribe. We do this every single day. And if you're unsure if I'm going to show up tomorrow, you can check the YouTube blogs. I have at least 4 months of daily videos in there. So my track record is good. I've been doing this for over a year, but at one point, Instagram required 1,000 subscribers to continue going live. And so that ended, and I transitioned to YouTube and TikTok. And that's where you're finding me now. And that is the backstory of why there's only like 3 or 4 months worth of live content on YouTube, because the rest of it is somewhere in the archives of Instagram, somewhere in those servers. Okay, Alex says, is this coffee or tea? It is really watered down coffee, but I needed more water, so I was just pouring water into that cup. Okay. Ooh, yeah, a bunch of lovely comments over everywhere, actually. Let's start with, is that coffee or tea? Covered. Boom. Calypso wish they found me sooner. Oh, well, I'm glad I'm not too late, and now you have found me, so we can work on the side splits, work on that stretching, that mobility, sharing those good vibes together. No Bodu on YouTube says, I love following you. I've hurt my nerves, so trying to be healthier again. Lovely. Yeah, it's healthiness is one of those things where once you lose it, you suddenly like care about it a lot more. And it's really too bad that it works like that. Because your body can have so much more love from you with, all the choices that you make every day. And hopefully, once you got that extra incentive, because you're, a little imperfect now, you give it the love that it deserves, and then you get stronger and better than you've ever been. Cool. All right. We got any tips for Achilles instability? Achilles instability. I'm not 100% sure what that even means, so I don't have a good answer for you. But if Achilles instability, the Achilles is a tendon that's right here, and it is tied right into your two calf muscles, right? The gastrocnemius and the big cool one that we all think is badass. The gastrocnemius is a little bit more hidden and smaller, and you feel it less. But as long as you're doing this type of motion, you should be feeling it in the Achilles tendon. I don't know what Achilles instability is, but I imagine if you had much stronger calves and you trained your calves, that it'd be easier to control. That is my guess. Cool. All right. I think we have one last comment to respond to. Someone, Alma, loves doing this with her granddaughter, and that is lovely. Hello, granddaughter. Welcome, and I hope you enjoy. We'll try to keep the last two stretches nice and fun for you, okay? All right, let's go. We got 2 more rounds of side splits. We relaxed in between. I talked a bunch. Hopefully that helps you to take some more time to relax. And let's get into this second round of side splits. Once again, get close to that wall so that if you start falling backwards, the wall will be there. I got you. Cool. Let's open up those legs nice and wide. Focus on getting into a deep position without feeling discomfort in the hips over here. Then fold forward. Put your hands down so that you're almost doing a little bit of a push-up. It's not to do the push-up, it's just to put some of the weight in your body into your hands so it's easier to move your legs. Once you are in this position, I want you to externally rotate your legs. What that means is your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up. Cool? From here, I want you to do it on both legs. 1 and 2. And then we're going to slowly sit deeper into that side split stretch. You might just naturally be slipping into a deeper stretch, and that is awesome. We're going to walk the hands back towards the hips so that some of the weight that we pushed away in front of you before is now coming back towards the hips. So it's all hair. All right. And then once you're as deep as you can get, we're going to start at 30 seconds. Ready? 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember to breathe. Try your best to relax. Nice big deep breaths. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl forward. Crawl, 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 crawl. Pull your legs back in. Come on back out. Oh, relax, breathe, enjoy not being in a side split stretch for a second. And then we're going to come back into standing. Shake out those legs. We're going to wiggle. We're going to noodle. We're going to shake. We're going to flop. Shake, flop, noodle, wiggle. I think I had a cute little song yesterday, but I can't remember at all how it went. So, shake, flop, wiggle, noodle. Let the legs move. Flop them around. Let the muscles relax. The easiest version for you might be letting that ankle flop around all over the place, but then move up. So now you're shaking from side to side. Your calves are loose. My TikTok app is sending me a picture message to confirm that I'm not a robot, so I gotta come over and do a little puzzle real quick. But once your legs are shaken out, relaxed, feeling good again, we're gonna do a couple of joint checks. And I'm gonna do those right after I line this puzzle piece. Boom. All right, joint checks. Let's do some hip circles. If you feel any discomfort anywhere, it's a little tender, it's a little tight, feel free to focus on those and get into it a little bit more. We're going to do some high knees. Lift those knees as high as you can, like you're marching. And then we're gonna do some mini squats, which means we're putting a little bit of pressure into our knees, a little bit of pressure into our ankles, a little bit of pressure into those feet to come up on the toesies. And once you've done all those things and everything feels okay, we're ready to get a little bit more relaxation and get into round 3 of the side splits. So shake them out, shake out those legs, wiggle, 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 relax, and I'm gonna come back and check the chat. Oh, all right. Let's see. I think we are good so far. So let's get into round 3. Romero says, slip are hard. Slip are hard. Slip are hard. I don't know what you're referring to. I'm going to come back and check the chat because something else just came in. We got a criterion face. Slip are hard. I don't know what you're talking about. Can you revise that sentence? I'm sorry. Tommy Zami on YouTube asked, am I Korean? No, I am not. Okay, we're getting to round 3 of the side splits. This is the third and final one. So really relax your body, take some nice big deep breaths, take it slow. Again, getting into the side splits, hanging out in the side splits is just as much relaxation as it is anything else. So try your best to feel comfortable, feel safe, feel chilled out, and that will help you get into slightly deeper side split. It's going to be really hard to do all those things because your legs are going to feel like they're exploding, but we're going to try our best. All right, let's get really close to this wall. Again, 8 to 12 inches in front of the wall so that if you start falling backwards, your butt, your shoulders, your back will protect you and you won't just fall right to the ground. From here, let's open up our legs nice and wide until it's almost uncomfortable here in the hips. Then fold forward, put your hands down. We're going to do a little bit of a push-up, but not because we want to do a push-up, because we want to put the weight into our hands so it's easier to rotate the legs. I'm going to do the leg rotation the hardest way possible by not using my hands, but the leg rotation looks like this. Your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Cool? On this side, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. From here, it should be a little bit easier to get deeper into the stretch, and you should have your hands down for this part to make it a little bit easier. Once you are as low as you can go, I want you to walk your hands back towards your hips. You might notice that between the first one and this one, you're feeling way more flexible. You're getting way deeper. Amazing. And from here, we're almost done. We're almost done. Last little bit. I want you to wiggle from side to side to see if you can get a little bit deeper in the stretch. Then we are here, and it's time to start our last 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Remember to breathe. Big deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. I didn't actually inhale or exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Almost done. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on back. Walk your hands forward. Crawl. Pull the legs in. Kneel if you need to. Relax. Chill. Let's come back into standing. All right, we just did the third and final side split stretch for the evening. Let's shake out our bodies, relax, loosen everything. So when you go back to doing whatever you are doing, your body is totally capable and not just randomly stressed out in weird places where you're not expecting it. So shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Loose. Flop, 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 flop. Once those muscles are starting to feel normal-ish again, then I want you to do a little bit extra. I want you to do some stanky leg. I want you to, I don't know, just add in some dance moves, okay? Just move those joints, move those muscles, move those hips, get some blood pumping back into them, and make sure all your little muscles are working, and they're working well. They're coordinated. They're not just confused after having spent like 2 minutes in a side split. Once your legs are feeling okay, let's do the hip circles, the joint checks real quick, and make sure we are doing good. Hip circles, high knees. Everything's feeling good so far. Let's hop into the mini squat. Put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankles. Lean forward, come up onto those toes a little bit. And once those all feel nice and solid and good, you feel like you're in control, we're done. That's it. You're free to shake more if you want. Shake, 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 wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. But I am coming over to the phones, check out the chat, and then we will be wrapping right up. Whew. Let's see. We got a whole bunch of trophies from Eduardo. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And what am I doing? Oh, was I showing off? What was I doing? Ganowski says, wow, he's showing off. Was I holding the side split position and then like rotating my toes up into the air? Yeah, I feel like it's one of those positions, or a lot of the time when we're stretching together, I feel like I'm staring at the floor or I'm staring at at my legs, and um, I don't know. I feel bad about it sometimes. So sometimes I try to look up at the camera occasionally, especially when we're doing the side splits over there. I'm just staring at the floor in front of me for 30 seconds until I remember we hit like the last 10 seconds. I'm like 5, 4, 3, and I don't know. I was trying to be more interactive. So yeah, I showed off a little bit, and it felt really cool actually because I didn't know I could do that. All right, Teeny or Chrissy, this one person, this one account who could be two people, has shared the live, sent a whole bunch of love, and has become a fan member in the fan club. So hello and thank you. And then I slid down. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so showing off a couple little tiny bits of the strength that I've built up over the years, that's I think I've earned that, Goddess, welcome back. Thank you for stretching along. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Lulu, I think I can hit this button over here to see who is currently on TikTok. Romero, Teeny, or Chrissy. Level ups equals level ups. The Purple Butterfly, Ambird85, Empath Nation. Oh man, Edo Mira Molinera. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here and joining the live. I'm sure there's other people, but the TikTok app didn't show me anymore, so I just said everybody's names that was obvious from the drop down menu. I hope you had fun. I hope you feel proud of yourself. We just did something in the realm of like 70 minutes of live side split stretching. And I hope you got some of it. I don't know when you all came in, but I hope you got some of the stretch. I hope you feel good. I hope you feel better than when you started. I hope you appreciate that your body is awesome and that just doing a little bit of something can help you feel way better. We obviously ran for 70 minutes and that is a long time, right? So don't have to do 70 minutes every single day to feel better. We started with a little bit of cat cow for our backs, and maybe that's all you needed for today to have a really great evening, right? So what I encourage you is to be more consistent, and being more consistent can be 30 seconds, right? Like if you know you have uncomfortable back situation and you haven't really been addressing it, you've just been dealing with it and living with it, maybe all you gotta do is do a couple of cat cows. And I said right at the beginning for like the 5 of you who have been on since the very beginning, I assume this sometimes looks a little embarrassing and it's like kind of difficult to get into, right? Like it's just a little bit weird. Why are you on your hands and knees and whatever, judgment, other people problems, right? You can do this totally seated. I'm gonna pretend I have yoga blocks. I'll use these. You can do a version of cat cows totally seated, right? Like it's this and it's this. All right. So that's a way more palatable way of doing it in public. If you go to an office, if you're on public transportation, maybe it's still not that palatable, but um, the principles are there. You're just trying to move your back. You're trying to get a little bit more mobile and give yourself a little bit of love, and so that you feel a little bit better, right? And that's one of those things where it could be 30 seconds, could be a minute. You could be doing it while you're stuck in traffic or something, and you might feel a little bit better. So that's what I hope you take away. Practice a little bit of consistency. Take care of some of those naggy aches with a little bit of love. You don't have to start with a really intense 1 hour super session like we have here, but come in, hang out, enjoy the good vibes. Hopefully, you found that the good vibes, the community, the chit chatting is great. Makes it easier for you to hang out, do the really hard things like sitting in a side split over there, counting. You don't have to do, I do. I mean, and I count kind of slow, I think, most of the time. So you're actually in the stretch for longer than 30 seconds. You don't know this, I think, but you actually get way more done than you think. Cool. All right. Tejas Brahmin asks, have you done or are you going to start? I just wrapped up 70-ish minutes of live side split stretching, but I do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So if you come back in like 23 hours, we'll be here, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Cool? Right. I'm gonna scroll some more, see if there's any more in the chat that I got to address. I think we're good. Romero says thank you. Goodnowski says thank you. And I think that means we're all wrapped up. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday evening. I hope it's chill. And which other CHR? Which other channel? Oh, I have a YouTube page which is called the same thing as on TikTok, at Splits on the Side. Splits on the Side at symbol thing, the A in the circle. And on YouTube, all of these are recorded and saved and a little bit better organized in a folder called Lives. So if you want to go back and check out an old one, I don't know why you'd want to do that because I do these live every single day, but you can go do that, and they're all on YouTube. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you for coming. I hope to see you tomorrow. All right, I think we're wrapping up. It's time. People are going home, and by going home, I mean they're turning off their lives. I don't even know what I'm saying. I hope you had fun. I hope you guys stretched well. I hope you feel good in your bodies, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Follow, subscribe, get notified, do all those good things, because we are out of here. Actually, wait, I got one last final call to action right here. I am stuck at like 995 Instagram followers, and once we get to 1,000, I can start going live again on Instagram, and it would be amazing if you have an Instagram. If you just went on to the app and found at Splits on the side, so I'm super lucky. All of my accounts have the same exact username, Splits on the side, one word. And yeah, if you could throw me a follow, because you're clearly already here, right? uh, and get me over that hump of 1,000, that'd be awesome. I don't know what it is about Instagram. Growing on it is so hard compared to YouTube and TikTok. I started on Instagram. I haven't hit 1,000. I'm way past 1,000 on every other platform, and it's a struggle bus. But once I hit 1,000, some new features open up, and I can take better care of the people who started following me originally on Instagram. Because, you know, I'm loyal. I try to take care of my people, and I'd love to do that for them. So if you do throw me that follow on Instagram, I really, really, really appreciate it. And with that, I am all out of stuff to talk about. So, good night. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you, Romero. And Miss Lampy started following me on Instagram. I got the notification. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Now I'm done. Goodbye. Good night. See ya.